All right, let's double check to make sure that we're on the right assignment. We are on your form. You should be seeing practice A. If you're not, then the rest of it's going to be quite confusing. Let's see if we can figure out how each one of these goes. Solve each equation. This, of course, means find the unknown value, which in our case, on the first problem, is going to be x. So let's take a look at what's happening to x. We've got x plus 13, and we're going to ignore the other side here. X plus 13, to undo an addition, we're going to use subtraction. And we want to get rid of this 13. So if we do it to one side, we have to do it to both sides, which means that on this side, I'm going to be left with x. The 13 and the negative 13 are going to cancel each other out. So now I need to do 9 minus 13, which 9 minus 13 is going to be the same thing as negative 13 plus 9, which gives me negative 4, and that'll be my answer. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Right now I've got the unknown is v. I've got v minus 7. Okay, so to undo subtracting, I need to add 7. Okay, so this 7 and that 7 are going to cancel out. I have to do the same thing on the other side so that I'm not changing my values. So I'm left with v from before. And then I need to do negative 22 plus 7. So remember, they're different signs. So it's like we're subtracting. So it's going to be 22 minus 7. Let's see. That'll be a 5 and a 1. And then because the larger one is negative, the whole thing's going to be negative. So I get negative 15. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. I have 4x equals negative 56. Now, this is technically this is technically 4 times x. There's some multiply in there. To undo multiplying, I need to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So I'm going to divide by 4 and divide by 4. So x is equal to negative 56 over 4. Now that's actually a perfectly good answer, but I can do it simpler than that, I think. So I need to know how many times does 4 go into 56? Well, 4 goes into 5 once, so that gives me a 4 there, and I'm left over with 1. And then for my tens position, I'm going to get a 6, and then 4 goes into 16. It looks like that's 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm going to have any leftovers. So it's going to be 14 times. Oh, but I've got the negative right here, which means that I need to keep that negative, because if it's a negative on top and a positive on the bottom, that combines to be a negative. Okay, check the poster if you're not sure on that one. Next up, I've got b. What does that mean? That's this is b divided by 10, which means this division thing, to undo that, I'm going to need to multiply both sides by 10. So I'm going to do like a times 10 and a times 10. So this is going to be b is equal to 17 times 10. I feel like I can do, that's a multiplication right there. That should be, oh, the trick is with the 0, right? So it's 170, and then I put a 0 at the end. There's my answer. Okay, number 5 is slightly trickier, isn't it? Okay, so if that's, oh gosh, I've got a 10 plus 5x. This looks a lot like one of the problems we've got on the board. It's like a number times x plus 10. If you're having trouble recognizing it, I can just switch the order because it's addition. Make sure that that sign stays connected to the 10. Okay, so it's 5 times 10 plus, or excuse me, 5 times x plus 10. So I need to subtract 10 because this plus. I'm going to have a 5x behind, and that's 50. Now I look at it and I think, okay, it's 5 times x. So to undo times, I have to divide. So I'm going to divide by 5. If I divide by 5 on one side, I have to divide by 5 on the other. So I get x is equal to, let's see, 50 over 5. I feel like I can do that one in my head pretty fast. If not, you might notice it's a 50 with ends in a 0, and it's a 5 right there. So 5 goes into 50 10 times. Calculator will do that too. All right, the first of the tricky ones. The sum of 3 consecutive numbers. This is like in a row. So I'm going to need a first number, a second number, and a third number. And these are going to each add up to be a total of 84. So if I just say the first number is x, the number after that has to be x plus 1, right? Because if I had like 4, then the next number would be 4 plus 1, or 5. And then the third number would be 4 plus 2, excuse me, x plus 2. So there we go. Those are going to be my third number, my three numbers. Then I remember that if I have the parts add up to be the whole thing, the parts are just going to be this stuff here. So I need the parts to be x plus 1 plus, this third one is x plus 2. And the whole thing needs to be 84. Okay, that's a plus right there. Okay, that means I need to collect like terms. Get all of the x's together, so I've got 3 x's, and I get all the numbers together, that's 1 plus 2 is 3. That'll be equal to 84. And now it just looks like the problem from number 5. I've got a number times x plus 3. This plus tells me I need to subtract. I need to subtract 3, so it'll cancel out. If I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. So I get 3x is equal to 81. I think I've done that calculation correctly. Then I've got 3 times x. That's 3 times too many, so I need to divide by 3 to undo the multiply. So x is equal to whatever 81 divided by 3 is. Let's see, 81 divided by 3. 3 goes into that twice. And that's what I was hoping for. Okay. Oops. Please excuse me. That's what I was hoping for. Okay, so x goes in, let's see, that's 27 times. Check my signs. Positive over positive gives me a positive. There's my answer, and it just wants the smallest. But the numbers would be 27, 28, and 29 all add up to be 84. Okay, let's flip the page over. All right, I have some angles here. This first one, I see a bow tie. These are going to be vertical. It's a vertical angles, and they are equal to each other. So this angle and that angle have to be equal to each other. So that means that this angle is 44, this angle is 2x, and they have to be equal to each other. So I've got 2 times x is equal to 44. I could divide by 2 because it's undoing the multiplying. Those cancel out, so I get x is equal to 44 divided by 2, which is 22. Here, I'm going to use the parts add up to be the whole, and the whole thing in this case is just going to be this 90-degree angle. So the parts are x plus 17, that's this first bit, and the second bit will be the 49. Okay, now I notice I've got some stuff to add together here, so I get x is equal to, let's see, I'm just going to do some scratch work, adding them together. So that's plus 66 equals 90. I need to, let's see, I've got x plus 66, so I need to undo the 66. So x is going to be equal to, let's see, 9. Let's see, that's going to be, that's a 4 there, and that's a 2 there. So x is equal to 24. Okay. This one appears to be angles on a line. And they're going to add up to be 180 because that's our rule. So I'm going to set up the parts. It's equal to the whole. And start filling some values in. Okay, the whole thing I said had to be 180. The first part will be x plus 8, and the second part will be 129. All right, so I'm collecting like terms, and what I see is that I need to, let's see, I need to combine those, so I'll do some scratch work here. 129 plus 8, it's going to give me 7. 8 plus, oh no, I don't, that's multiplying. What am I doing? 137. Calculator check will work for that. And then I'm doing an x plus 137, so I need to subtract 137 to undo it. I also need to do it from this side. So I get x is equal to, let's see, just do some quick borrowing here. That'll be a 3, that'll be a 4, and there we go. There's my answer. Okay, last but not least, this is angles at a point, isn't it? Angles at a point, and they sum to 360, which means if I do the parts are equal to the whole, seems to work very nicely here. The whole thing will be 360. Then I just need to go around and do all the parts. So I've got the x plus 9. I need to add on 38, and then the 209. Those are all the parts. Okay, now I can ignore the picture for a little bit and just start solving. Let's see, I'm going to collect all these little parts here. So I've just got one x all by itself. And then I need to do 9 plus 38 plus 209. All right, I think I've done that correctly. You can double check my work, of course. And then if I've got 256 there, I need to subtract 256 from both sides because I've got too much there. I've got x is then equal to, let's see, a little bit of borrowing here. That'll be a 4, that'll be a 0, that'll be a 104. And that should work out. Now, you should, of course, double check all my calculations with a calculator. Feel free to do that on your own. But this should be exactly what you need for practice.